Hello and welcome to another friend. It's not technically, it is another week, but not technically just another week because we don't do weekly anymore. But, anyways, here's another episode. Here's another friend. Here's Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hello, welcome.
Apparently, Tony's in room 4. That's what I can see on the sign in his back.
This time I'm on room 4. Yeah. First Kevin Chant, and then I'm up. So
I see. Tony, for those that haven't met you and now all they know about you is that you're Tony and that you're apparently in room 4. Who are you?
so my name is Tony Huizer. That's Dutch. I usually go for my stage name Tony Hauser. It's better pronounceable. I'm from the Netherlands because of my Dutch last name. Yeah. I live.
Are you
on
from
a
the
small.
Netherlands because of your Dutch last name, or is your last name Dutch because you're from the Netherlands?
Well, that depends. I mean, a lot of people in the States have Dutch last names and are not from the Netherlands, and they think they're from America. So yeah, but whatever. But anyway, I live on a small island.
Don't
Um,
we all?
yeah, well, we have bridges these days, so we figured that out. Um, I have 2 kids, a wife, and a dog. I work as a software DevOps consultant. Everything with software and people, they usually call me. I like that. And I'm also the co-organizer of SQL Saturday. You had Peter on the show a few episodes back, so not a few weeks, but a few episodes back.
Also a few
He's
weeks.
he's the other guy. And we have a cool
Nice.
logo.
Yes, is that your dog?
That's my dog, yeah.
Okay, I have more questions about the dog. What is their name? What kind of dog?
Sammy is
Sammy.
the name. And she is a Koiker hondje, a Koiker dog. It's a Dutch breed.
Okay.
So they originally were raised to keep ducks in a pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Where is she? She's not here.
Well, she's downstairs. I
Okay.
thought to bring her. I can call her. She's like up in 2 minutes if you want.
No. It's
no
all
problem.
good. I will only be distracted.
But she will be at the event. So if you come to the Netherlands, 17 or 18 April, just before Bits.
Yeah. Some of my teammates are coming for sure.
Really?
So.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's they are partnering the event, so that's cool.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So we chose Sammy for the likability because most people like dogs. And it's
Exactly.
the only event I know where non-service dogs are allowed because she's at the event as well.
Perfect.
So, yeah. You got any dogs?
I don't have a dog. I have 2 cats. They came with my wife, and I was very much a dog person before she brought cats, and now the cats have wiggled their way into my heart. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I pretty much love all animals. So,
yeah, there's still one cat walking around here.
nice.
Both of my kids had cats, but my son, when the dog arrived, the cat said, "Okay, I don't like this. I will move 2 houses to the left."
Nice.
Got the cat, brought it back, and the cat said, "No, this is not my house anymore. That is my house."
Okay. Yeah, cats pretty much do what they want, right? So they rule.
Yep, that they do. Yep.
We have that
Okay.
saying in Germany that dogs have owners and cats have employees.
That's how it works. Yeah. The cat stands before the door, asking me to open it so she can come in and go out again. That's how it works. Yeah. So is that's a kind of introduction. That's
It's perfect. I love it.
cool.
Speaking of introductions, what's your favorite data thing?
Well, that's a good question, Ben.
Did not see that coming either.
No, I didn't see that coming. I thought about it, and since I'm in the data community, but not like a DBA, more on the DevOps software side, it's actually pretty easy. It's automation.
Nice.
And that's not particular data thing, but it's the thing I like the most in our profession, automating stuff. And breaking stuff, that's the other thing I like.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
then fixing stuff.
Yeah. I found that if you break stuff and then you fix it, people think you're a hero.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
tip.
I have one customer who does deploys without noticing anything so no notifications to anyone. Then it breaks. Then they call him and said something broke down, and then he fixes it. But it was actually his deployment, and
Yeah.
he's still a hero. So
He's like, don't worry, folks, I got this.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
sounds like a deployment ninja.
deployment ninja. Yeah, or just a way of making a living. I think.
I mean, that makes perfect sense because, like, if sales are going down, if people aren't actually sending any work your way, you can just be like, okay, I'm going to deploy something. They're going to send work.
Yeah.
And depending on how much work that deployment will either include an add column thingy or a drop database thingy, depending on, again, how busy you need to be over the next 1 hour or 1 year.
He just deploys a whole new version of the software without telling anyone. And the users will just come up to their desk and like, what?
Interesting.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about. I'm very sure how I feel about that, but
I know exactly how I feel about it, but this is recorded, so I won't tell. I'm just saying what Jazz says. You're a hero in the end of the day because he broke stuff and then he fixed stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't really approve this. No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if my daughter breaks something, I want her to own it, and I want her to tell me that she broke it, rather than being like, "Oh, ninja, oh, this wasn't me."
Yeah, no, I didn't break that. No, that came out of the box. It was already broken. No.
It was the cat.
I painted on the drawer by mistake with my crayon. Like,
Yeah.
I was just swinging it. Yeah, it happens. It happens.
But if stuff is broken, then it can be fixed, or it can be fixed with automation. And then I always prefer the second. But it's not always faster if you think, oh, I can do that by hand, or I can just write a funky script for it.
But if you write the funky script, you don't have to do it by hand ever again, right? So reducing the option for human error.
Yeah, but
people, the worst.
That's a perfect bridge to the next question, Ben. It's already time for the next question.
Yeah, we can hit the next question. What's your favorite non-data thing?
Hang on. Since when does the guest decide when we ask the next? What is happening?
It's fine with me.
Is he automating the podcast? Is that what's happening?
He's automated us.
No, this is
he hit my webhook.
Yeah, welcome, Ben. This is the Jazz and Tony show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I guess.
What's your favorite data thing?
Well, I'm not a data person, so I wouldn't know. I'm not even data adjacent.
He loves people.
Yeah. Well, talking about people, my answer for the second question. So, because I knew there were some questions coming, and I talked them over with my wife, and the obvious question.
And your wife came up with automation being your favorite data thing?
No.
Good
That's
choice.
actually the second question which I talked about, because I like a lot of things. I have a lot of hobbies, and I watched a lot of episodes of this podcast, and you can only name one thing. You have to choose one thing.
That's the key.
Correct.
Yeah. Eventually, people name a lot of things, but for starters, you can only name one thing.
I have no idea what is happening right now, but
Yeah.
I just go with the flow.
Just go with it. Just keep smiling.
Yeah, keep smiling. Smile and wave, boys. So, but it's actually people, Ben.
Okay, that's the end.
It's the end of the podcast. Well, I would have said presenting, or I would have said doing whiskey tastings, because that's also one of my hobbies. But it all comes down with connecting with people and sharing stuff. And I'm a very curious person, so I always want to know how things work, how things go, and you can only find it out by question number one, breaking stuff and automate it, or talking to people. Yeah, I'm that weird nerd that talks to people. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
just
I
not
think
going to
it
say
fits.
anything anymore because I feel like he's going to ask the next question himself. He's going to answer it. I don't even have to respond to the people thingy. So,
True, this is an easy podcast. Less work
I
for us.
mean, if I had known, I would have just given him the link and he could have just self-recorded and we would have done AI edited ourselves in.
Maybe we are AI edited in.
There's also that. I mean, so the thing is, there's a handful of good people out there. I'm going to give you that.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
even two handfuls.
I didn't say all people, but I said people in general.
Well, I feel like with your role in like that DevOps space, the people are like a big part of that, right? Like
Yep.
getting them on board with what's happening and the processes and stuff. You can't
But did you-
really do DevOps without some people.
I kind of understood that Tony's buddy is doing the opposite and he's not getting anybody on board. He just deploys and surprises folks.
True.
What?
DevOps surprises.
There was a quote of a customer. I wouldn't call him my buddy, but he's part of the people group. So yeah, I like him because else say the answer to question number 2 should be stripped from the record. But Jess is absolutely right. The right amount of balance between automation and people is DevOps. I mean, you have to understand what the people are doing and why they are doing that. Then you have to convince them to do maybe something else or maybe automating some stuff. And then in the end, everybody's happy.
That sounds like a fairy tale miracle.
Yeah, well,
The dream.
it's the goal we go for.
And then they deployed happily ever after.
Ah.
Well, DevOps is not only about deploying, of course. It's also about getting some work better refined, getting better requirements, getting better stuff done before you ever write any piece of code or database modifications. So it's also on the pre-side of your development workflow.
Speaking of happily ever after, so at the end of fairy tales, there's usually some kind of like a celebration or a feast, and what they usually have with that is obviously drinks and food. Speaking of food, what's your favorite food, Tony?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so there's another podcast who stole this question and asked it. You had him on the podcast as well, David.
What?
Yeah.
Someone stole our questions?
Yeah, he stole our question. And your question, yeah. I said our question, sorry. Already taken
That's
over.
good.
I mean, you're part of the team now, Tony, I guess.
He stole the question, you stole the podcast, it happens.
Our job here is done. Not our
You said
choice.
AI
but-
wanted to take our jobs. Actually, it's Tony.
I am AI. I'm not real.
Perfect.
Yeah, but the answer I gave there was lasagna.
Okay.
Would that also be the answer you're giving here, or are you just
Yeah,
telling
well-
me you gave that answer there to distract people, but now you're actually giving us the real data?
No, I'm afraid of AI because if the AI will see I say different things at different podcasts, it will collapse.
We get
And
confused.
then the Terminator comes. So it's a
Oh,
problem.
God, we don't want that.
Yeah.
So lasagna.
Yeah, but basically because of the process of making it, it's
Have you
Is
automated
it
the
any
process of making
lasagna
it?
or just a traditional
I haven't-
lasagna with the meat
bolognese
sauce?
sauce,
Bolognese.
and then or a bechamel sauce, or a ricotta, or different other products to replace ricotta if you don't.
See, and
like-
now we tricked you into naming multiple things. You're fired.
Get out. Go get your dog.
And there he's gone.
Yeah, I can get her. That's no problem.
No.
But the thing with lasagna is it just takes a while, and you have to get full focus in the kitchen to get it right. And for me, that's good because I get distracted pretty fast. And just sticking to getting the lasagna perfectly and getting it not too wet, not too dry, so you can just slice it and just it stands like this. But to be
I love
honest,
lasagna.
I made it only once this year because I was at a feast, like Ben said, and they were serving lasagna and I said, that's not, no. And then next week I made my own lasagna.
Then he walked into the kitchen, pushed people away, and
Get
made
out
some
of here.
Let me show you.
I'm taking over.
I mean,
Don't you know me? I'm from the podcast.
Okay, sure.
But so I try to stay within the answer I gave last time, but because I practically eat anything.
Data quality, we like that.
Yeah, I like
Data
that.
consistency. I mean, data can change over time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
True.
No, we're going to allow
But
that.
lasagna is forever.
Yeah.
Lasagna is for. I mean, I consider myself to be kind of lasagna because of my many complex layers. Anyways,
And you're cheesy.
and sometimes a little spicy. Anyway,
What?
at least I'm not a naughty
every
shirt.
layer is a surprise. Every layer is a surprise. I
Exactly.
mean, you can. Yeah, that's how it works.
We will allow you sticking to that answer. We will even allow you having given that answer on another podcast that stole our question before. I'm going to be on the phone with my lawyers on just a second. What we will not allow is going over time.
Oh,
And we're already nearing being over time. So with that, thanks, Tony. Just for clarity, this was a one-time thing. You're out. But still, thanks for being with us. Thanks for joining us. No buts.
This is our podcast.
Exactly. We're taking our show back. Thank you, Jess. Thank you all. See you in 2 weeks with yet another
Bye,
friend.
folks.
Bye.
bye.